Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody to a new chapter of the Battle Grip. Tonight we are going to talk about this raid we just suffered, and with us tonight we have a special new guy that will join us. You also may know him. He's Inspector Gadget and El Jefe.
What's up, guys?
Howdy.
So tonight we have a lot to talk about this raid. You want guys that we go to the slides already?
Yeah, let's start.
Okay. Well, first of all, there has been a bit of changes in that work in progress we all saw for August. First is that the Forsaken mission is not starting today, it will start tomorrow. And mainly the reason is that the Forsaken mission price and the redeem of the prices get messed between, so they have to delay it one more day.
Or they don't know how to work a calendar, because they knew this as soon as they put out the whip, that they weren't going to make it on the 17th, and they had it on the 18th. I guess we should have figured that out. And then I'm hoping that on August 19th we're still going to have the VXP weekend as planned, which is going to be great for a lot of people if they collected their tokens and their build tokens during the raid and sped up their the Hellwrath builds, and because everybody knows how valuable the ranking is on those on new halls.
Yeah, definitely. Also, they got to cancel, it seems, the TLC that was coming next Tuesday.
Well, I don't know if they canceled it, but they did say that they've delayed it.
Yeah, so far it's cancelled because they don't know even when it's going to be added again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they don't have enough in the agenda to put the both. Go ahead, sorry, Gadget. I think I interrupted.
I was just going to say that's a great move on their part, isn't it? I mean, you know, it wasn't bad enough that you give us a Hellwraith and then you bring the VXP weekend out before you bring the Phantom version of the sub we just won. But now you want to make it even longer and not even give us an ETA on it. Do you know what I mean? That's just awesome.
Well, because a lot of people, personally, for the upcoming raid, I plan to build 2 of the normal version, and then wait for the flagship, and then have potentially 3 for the raid.
Yeah, but the problem is that with 2 ranked and that one unranked, you're going to have problems at least turning.
Exactly.
Well, at least it depends on how you outfit it, because I think it has a 30 base. And if you put speed 5 or hydraulic resistors on it, it's got a crazy high turn speed. So it's not like it's going to be like the Rhino or something like that was sort of bulky to turn. They will get out of line, but it's not like it's one of these halls that's going to be slow to turn inherently.
Finally, I see that you put here coming soon the new research levels. Do you think they are coming in tomorrow's release?
Well, I doubt that, because they would have probably, it's the same quote-unquote coming soon that a lot of us saw up for years for the DRAC bases and other things. It's just that it's in the whip, and when I put the schedule together, I just tried to, let everybody know what's about to happen and any changes that have occurred. And that was in the whip, and it was just it was coming soon at that point, and still coming soon.
Well, I mean, it has to come pretty soon, because there's the whole separate R&D mechanic for the mega hulls, right? So I'm pretty sure that they were coming out at the same time. So at the end of the day, they can't leave it too long now that people are starting to get mega hulls out there and get them equipped, right? Because they're going to be wanting that.
Yeah, not very excited so far. I saw a few fights of those, and I think that watch paint dry, it's more exciting than seeing those things not moving at all. But well.
Yeah, but this is what the R&D is for, right? There's supposed to be like separate R&D for just the mega hulls, right? That's sort of separate to the R. It's not the same as the R&D that you normally do, but it works on the same sort of mechanic. And it basically, you get all this stuff from it that you're going to be able to put on your mega holes, which is going to make them far more interesting than they are now.
Okay, let's move to the next slide. Well, let's talk about the rate now, about the assets. What do you guys think about the assets?
Personally, I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go.
I didn't actually. I just saw people hit them and got pissed off and didn't even bother dealing with them. But you actually hit them. I was just personally, when I feel like I'm getting screwed over by the game, I don't participate in that part of the game. So I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, you were lucky you saw somebody hit one before you hit one. I went out and just hit them, and man, yeah, I got a shock. I got a real shock, man. I think the first S set I did, because I was used to being able to auto the mega holes, right, to auto the elite sets, and so I just went in and let my fleet go on auto on the first one, and I think I lost my fleet before I killed one HC. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it just steamrolled straight into everything, right? And I mean they were pretty significant, and the 106 was terrible, man. If you didn't have the right crew, it was just undoable, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. I tried that one a few times, especially when they said the heavy cruise damage is getting reduced, and I said, okay, I try again, and I say, wait a moment, what's happening with that toy rhino that is doing me so much damage? So as soon as the data miner posted in the Dark Alliance the specifications of these assets, and I could see the 80% flak abate on one missile that is doing like 10,000 damage, or the other one that was doing 1,000 with a 1,000 accuracy, so you need abate over 90 to just try to have a chance to avoid it. And I said, come on, this is not what was supposed to be the same targets like the last ones that Raker said in the show. And I said, come on, this is not at all. But well, I think that they paid them pretty bad, because for what I saw, everybody was grinding A sets, and most of the time you were hitting the same. I am doing 100 millions and I have spent 0 coins. So I don't know if at the end making the assets so hard went against the economy.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of people that didn't have the patience to do what you did, and either just ground through the A sets not nearly as carefully as you did, or paid for repairs multiple times, hitting the S sets maybe per pair of them. I was disappointed because I saw the S sets last month, and I went out and got uranium and rolled, and after 20 minutes and 150 uranium, or 150 million or 1,000 or whatever, I would get a bullseye brigade, and I had 7 of them getting ready to go into this raid, but I didn't actually use any of them because there was no real need to in the A sets.
No, I think user crew, at least for me, was just a waste of time, because I was doing the ASAP for 10 minutes repairs each of the targets, so I wouldn't get lower than that, and just getting into the base and repairing the ships one by one, I was getting instant repairs on them, so no point, at least for me.
I was just autoing them. I mean, to be honest with you, once I'd tried the S sets and got pissed off about it, I just burnt through all my grease monkeys and autoed A sets. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't doing like you and just repairing after each target. I'd just go out and auto a bunch of targets until my fleet was nearly dead, and then repair it on the map and keep going. So I just burnt through a bunch of grease monkeys and did it really cheap.
What do you think about the prices? Are you happy with the sub after seeing at least the torpedo working as a dumbfire and not likely the other sets of torps that will go and follow the targets as we are used?
I don't particularly like the torp, mate, to be honest with you. I think the fact that it's a dumbfire is kind of, I mean, it's clever on their part, because what they've done is they've made it so that really it's only really viable if you use it on the new sub, right? If they hadn't done that, then people would have just got the torp and stuck it on their tiger sharks, I expect, right? So in a way it's clever, but in another way it kind of screws the little guy that couldn't get the points to get all the top prizes, right? So I mean, the little guy could have, before, if it wasn't a dumbfire weapon, the little guy could have just got the torps, put it on his tigers. That could have been attainable to him, right? Whereas getting the actual sub, the special, and the torps, for a lot of little guys, it really isn't attainable unless they got a sugar daddy who's gonna help them out.
Yeah, and especially I didn't agree at all with the amount of points you got to get, because I think that 2 days more doesn't justify that you have to get nearly 60 or 70% more the points that you normally get. From 30 millions, we want to get 49 just to get the 3 prizes, which makes very hard for those little guys to get them.
And how pissed off are people going to be in the forums once next rate comes around and it's only 15 million for the hull?
Yeah, man, I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, I didn't think either. What about the Punisher? What do you think about it, one? Do you think it's going to be useful, or just one more of those holes with 18 days that we have there for Sunday to build?
I don't like it personally. I don't intend to build it, but I have a funny feeling that Kixeye are going to do something in the future that's going to make you need to build this hole. I mean, I might not be right, but you know, I want it. I just don't intend to build it unless I have to.
Yeah, I think that many people have a lot of long queues, especially after a Hulu store, of stuff to build, that to add just a blank hole that is 18 days. But let's see if that red level gets into the game and he's as neat as something or not. Okay, let's move to the next slide.
Well, actually, I put that in for another reason. How disappointed do you think most people are that started the last series of raids, or this series of raids, and you know, like I did personally, got very upset with the bypass, the siege deflection and assault deflection bypass that made your Punishers and Rhinos just crumble in the first raid unless you're willing to coin and then wait for them to give you 3 grease monkeys and what was it, 4-hour repair tokens and all that stuff eventually, and didn't allow you to get the Vendetta because you chose to get the Apollo so you could do the rest of the raid. And at this point, the Revenge is a niche base hitter. It's nothing that you know, you can't go into even a halfway decent, or you know, a third-way decent base and run it with Revenges. And, you know, between the miniguns, the Cyclone, the Vanquisher, they've compromised that hull so much that you know you need to have the Vanquisher to even have a shot at it. But it wasn't available in this raid.
Yeah, I feel like the Revenge is garbage. It has been for a while, though, in my opinion. I mean, maybe not for the little guys, but for anyone playing at a mid to high level of the game, the Revenge has been garbage for a long time, really since Vendettas came out.
Yeah, and since the people found that those executionists with transformers and at least 2 or 3 fire supports too are able to just take them down. So, as you say, you know, I feel that the Revenge that gets now inside of a base, you can do it with the Punisher as well. You don't need the Revenge to get in that base.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I just really can't believe that they didn't put it out there as a prize, because it was not completely required, but it was, even just to get prize pack 1 of the last TLC, you needed to have it in order to get the what's the name of that? The Retribution.
Yeah, I think that the slap on the face was to put the skin and not the coat, you know.
Yeah, that was that was sort of comical, because you know then people could say, oh, you know, did it let you buy? I think it let you buy the skin, didn't it?
Yeah, I got the skin. As somebody makes the joke out, I bought the hull for 500,000 points and I didn't get it in my ship there to build. Okay, let's move to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, the new Forsaken mission prices. We just can put what they have already posted on the work in progress because unfortunately so far we don't have much data about the descriptions they gave.
All these things will be released tomorrow in detail. The main reason I put on was the Mimicus system because I think that's going to be crucial for the next raid, and I just wanted to go through the description of it and remind everybody what's going to be showing up tomorrow. I mean, the first one is basically at this point it just appears to be merely a special to cater to people that use switchblades because of the increased multi-shot.
A bit late, I think.
It's a ship special then. Because yeah. I was looking at this and thinking it could be a turret special that caters to Drak coaxials as well.
The anti-missile proliferation system?
Yeah.
I think it's a ship special.
Are Drak coaxials multi-shot?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't have one.
I got hydroxide barrels on mine because it increases the multi-shot on them from 4 to 6.
I think the second is the one that people is more focusing to know how they finish the sub build, the Mimicus system. That I think that it will also depend on if they go into I want to say too fast now.
The retro?
Yeah, into the retro. If it gets into the retro in the same, likely the two specials that combine, maybe it's going to be quite good. If not, I don't know.
Yeah, it would have to go into the stealth one because the other one that has the SAS-4 is concussive damage, and this doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, but I want to see how much is the weight penalty on this one to see if it's worth or not. Also,
yeah, it looks to me like it could be really catered to the guys who have the 3 special slot subs, you know, like the Spectres are going to be, and the Nighthawks and things like that, you know, rather than for guys who are running like the top subs with 5 special slots. I don't think them guys are going to end up using it as much.
I sort of think the opposite. I think based on previous history, the bottom one, the D2, D5, the armor, is going to go from Tier 2 to Tier 5. And the rest of them are going to end up in Tier 5. It's just a matter of how the cloak time, which I expect to increase because of the low cloak time inherent with the new sub, and I expect the cloak efficiency to go down because of the increased cloak efficiency of the Hellwraith. So I expect this to be, the Mimicus to be actually tailored to the Hellwraith. Because I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but it already has a plus 25 cloak efficiency, and it has a very small footprint of 30, which, if you compare it to a Nighthawk or a Tiger Shark or a Banshee, has a base footprint of 60. And I think it's supposed to be the pairing for the Hellwraith. I don't think it's supposed to work with the other ones because the Hellwraith has so much higher cloak efficiency, both in that bonus and in the footprint they don't show you in the blueprint, that I think that's what it's intended for. But I have no idea what they're going to do with the rest of it, as far as the retro lab or anything like that. I think we can probably skip on. We talked about these other two last week, and I don't think we knew that much about it. It's just more of a reminder to people, like what's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, that Blunderbuss, I still don't know if it's going to be a weapon for the ships, a sort of turret, or a special from some turrets, likely the ballistic ones, honestly. And the corrosive, well, I think likely the anti-missile proliferation system comes a bit late, because it would have been amazing for some Reno fleets and Ally to do the last raid type. But well, we will see. Okay.
The
This is on a calculator you just built. Let me see.
yeah, on the BPC site, I've updated the sonar calculator. I'm not sure how many people that are watching have seen it before, but I've upgraded to include the Hellwraith, and it's pretty easy to incorporate the new torpedo since they have the same range as the Scourge. Tito, can you screen share a live version of it?
Yes, give me a second.
Okay. But basically, the way this works is there's on the you have the name of the hull, and then you have your enemy's sonar range, and you can edit that. You can you can put in whatever you want. I put in 150 because of the things I've looked around at. A lot of the Reaver targets that have been available to us have a sonar range of 150. And then you can edit that to do whatever you want with it, and it's a live little spreadsheet. So people have been doing strange things with it and questioning me on why does the Hellwraith have 5,000 sonar range. It's not really what it means. And then the cloaking efficiency, you can get off your shipyard once you go into design mode or whatnot by putting on different, stealth armors or Caterpillar driver, Magnus driver, whatever, and it will calculate out how far away you can be detected by that sonar range, which is the next column over. And then the next 5 columns are your safety margins using certain weapons. I'm assuming that the sonar range is going to change target to target, and that's sort of why the tool is there. Okay, you've gone to it. Let me go over to it and see if it updates in real time. As an example, I think it's the Hellwraith is you just put Magnus 2 on it, and I think it goes to 85. And as you see, it changes the detect range to 27, and then it gives you how much room you have to work with individual weapons that you may have on that. And I've blacked out the Cobra Scouter gun on the ones that can't equip it. And but the interesting part is if you put the Hellwraith to 85, and then you put the Tiger Shark to 85, you'll see that you've got 4.5 additional distance. And once you bring that out to your Scourge and your fire twisters, you also have that that range it's still there. So it's just a tool for people to figure out how their build may perform. I mean, the real tricky part is figuring out what your enemy sonar is going to be. But the big thing that's in here is the fact that each individual sub has a different visible range. And I'm showing them now. It's normally hidden. But you can see how the Hellwraith has 30, the Predator has 30, and these are all, and the Barracuda has 35. So cloak efficiency isn't the end-all, be-all. It's cloak efficiency combined with visible range, which is is how this is being calculated. I don't know. I just thought I'd show you guys that and see. I thought it might be useful in the future. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Did you guys have any questions?
No.
Okay. All right, we can switch back. I just wanted to explain how it worked to people because there was a little bit of confusion on it before. And you can see like people are going in there and editing it now. And so you can freely edit the C and E columns and go from there.
Okay. So let's move to the next one. Okay, the hull right. This is the two possible builds that you can go, or the ones that are going to give you the best efficiency.
I don't know if they're going to give you the best efficiency, but until we know what the Mimica system looks like, I just try to show different paths that you go on based on the fact that, you know, they're not. I'm assuming all these things are going to stack together because they're not duplicative. And I know a lot of people don't. You know, there's paths 3, 4, and 5 if you want to just use Caterpillar versus any of the combined specials. But I was just trying to give people ideas on how to move forward with their builds until they knew what was going on. You know, if you think you have faith in the Mimica system, don't put Magnus 2 on it because you're going to have to take Magnus 2 off. That's basically what I was trying to show here. And then on the right-hand side, on the bottom, I was trying to show people that even though the combat, I was just trying to compare the different hulls as far as being used in
Prep bases?
Prepping out bases. How far they can go by combining the combat speed. And I put the wrong one in there. All of them had Magnus 2 and SAS 4, except for somehow I screwed up and included the Hellwraith has the engine upgrade on it as well. So when you get the speed of combat speed of 62, it's down below the Tiger Shark. So the Hellwraith, you know, this is a bad slide. The Hellwraith actually has covers less distance while cloaked than the Tiger Shark or the Banshee. I just was doing some experimentation and accidentally clipped the wrong one. But oh well.
I think that you will be able to prep with a Hellwraith because the fact of those 5 seconds of surface means that the turrets in that base will not have that much time to kill them all, especially if you spread them or leave one behind, so you can lure the turret's damage to that one.
Yeah. Well, I guess Gadget, you don't plan on building this hull, so I guess it's not really.
Yeah, right now I'm not really. I'm kind of still on the fence about it. Right. I mean, it's really going to depend very much on how my Ghost Crawler does in the first raid. If my Ghost Crawler does fine, I'm not going to waste the shipyard time on this personally. But if you haven't got a Ghost Crawler, then yeah, you really should.
I'm curious, what would you be spending it on?
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to talk about that just now. I'm not sure, man. I mean, I'm always messing with stuff. To be honest with you, a lot of my fleets change monthly. You know, like fleets I'm using, I'll change them on the fly as things change. So there's always something for our shipyard to be doing. Sorry, that's my dog going nuts in the background.
No problem. I mean, the only thing I could think of would be the Vasago's Punisher, which you already said you didn't want to build.
No,
so
I'm at the moment. I just finished working on a Vendetta fleet. For prepping, and now I'm building that new hull, man, that came out in the time limited campaign, the one with the heavy launchers on it.
The Retribution.
Yeah, I'm building a fleet of them because I know how to make them go boom.
So you're building the third one that everybody's using to prep the fleets?
Yeah, well, people are using it as a tank. I'm building a full fleet. I'm not building it for a tank because I know how to make it go boom. So I'm gonna build a full fleet of them. You know, I know how to make the heavy weapon get the shockwave, right? Yeah, you got to think about it, man. It's a multi-shot weapon, and it's a heavy weapon.
So barrel systems, don't take anything that's going to take away from accuracy and increase
You're gonna want fusion charges, you're gonna want interception system, and you're gonna want barrel system 3, and you're gonna want at least 4 of them in a fleet, skull ranked. You need 2,500 hits to get a shockwave from this weapon, right? So I remember me and Ren were talking about it, and we worked out that with the right specials and it fully ranked, you should be able to get a shockwave from this in like 2 to 3 volleys. Do you know what I mean? And the shockwave damage is immense, like absolutely immense.
Yeah, I tested that on my subs. We were testing how much damage I could do to it, and suddenly it happened, the shockwave, and it was like, wow, what happened here? Because I couldn't kill the ship, and he just blew at me, all the fleet, with a single volley of those.
Yeah, I'm building it as an anti-sub fleet. I'm not building it to hit bases. It's going to be all speed and boom. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. It's going to be my sub killer.
I find hilarious when people say, I don't understand why they call this an anti-sub fleet, and I said, man, you have not experienced it too much if you are able to say that.
Mate, anyone with a ghost crawler who's ever tried to snipe a fleet with one of these things in it knows all about it.
I guess so. I thought you needed 2 at least to kill the ghost crawler, but I guess it depends on the armor you have on it.
Yeah, well, it's not just that, is it? Right? I mean, you've got a fleet, but it's got one of these in it, and all this thing has to do is detect, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And the rest of the ships are firing at you, so it's not that the one ship is killing you.
All right, let's move to the next one then. I think we have covered all we could on this slide. Okay, the weapon.
Yeah, the weapon is, we talked about a bit last week. It's extremely powerful. It's dumbfire. And I'm going to talk a little bit in the next slide on how the special and the hull work with it. But the most interesting thing I found about the weapon itself, without anything else going on, is it's got a very high minimum splash. And what minimum splash means is if you miss a target, but it's still within the splash range, what's the percentage of the total damage that's done? And 75% it's at the top tier. So it's some of them are down in the 50s and whatnot. So it's even if it misses, but still, in this example, if you have no other specials that help it, you miss it by 6 because it's a dumbfire weapon like an arbalist or whatnot. And the arbalist doesn't have splash. I mean, a better example to compare this to would be an Earthshaker or a siege cannon, which also has a splash of 6. That if you miss something, you're still going to be doing damage. And the damage that this one still does 75% of the maximum damage. So you can use, if you want, the sealed fire of the next special. I guess, I mean, unless we want to talk more on this, as far as the fact that it's got the same range as the Scourge, but it does pretty close to twice the DPS per ton, and it's got a shorter build time.
And it's lighter.
Yeah.
It's lighter as well, right? So it fits on your builds easier than the Scourge Torps do. But I honestly, something I was thinking about looking at it is looking at this special here and thinking about combustion system 2, right? I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, this has the torpedo critical damage of 100%, right? Which is awesome. But that being said, when I look at the other special, it only drops a very small amount of projectile speed, but it gains a huge amount of splash compared to this. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like 37. I think it's like 37.5 projectile speed, but mine's giving me like over 70% splash bonus.
Yeah, the new special has 30% splash. So it's another 7, but it's the critical damage. I mean, would the idea be to go with one of those explosives type systems, or
Well,
mix
I'd want to
it
test.
within the hull?
I'd want to test it because I mean honestly I don't know whether you'd be better off going with this for the torpedo critical chance or if you'd be better off going with something that gives you more splash bonus so that there's there's more chance of a hit, especially for guys that say wanted to put this torp on a standard sub and not a Hellwraith, right? I would think that the extra splash would serve you much better, give you more chance of actually putting damage on the target and not missing it entirely. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you do, if you increase your critical damage that much, it only really counts if you hit the target.
Exactly.
Or if you go with the disciples, then it's when
No, the disciples aren't going to work on a dumbfire weapon, unless somebody knows better. I don't think if dumbfire weapons don't do they work with DOS?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do know that TOS has suddenly become incredibly rare and scarce. So, I'm just saying, I don't know anyone who's rolled a TOS crew lately.
Yeah, it's been I think about 10 days since I got one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was rolling for both sides, and I ended up with disciples, and I got 3 of them. But I don't know if it's just lucky or
hacker. Move on.
Yeah, I know, but
Renato's in chat and saying DOS works in the sense that it reverses the splash decay.
Yeah, but doesn't make it a hit though.
Yeah, exactly.
It turns it inside out.
And that being said, this thing carries 75% damage on the splash anyway, so I don't really think that that's going to serve you too much. Do you know what I mean? It's because of the high damage on the splash, the high minimum splash damage. This is going to be less useful than on say other weapons, I would say.
Yeah, we'll remain for experience and see how it goes. Well, let's go to the Punisher and see.
Oh God.
The huge amount you needed for this, if it's worth or not.
That is something.
Yeah, 50 million points.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that more than the Hellwraith?
Did we skip over a slide?
The Hellwraith with the 2 specials was 49. This was 1 million more. So this means that you got to grind at least 4 worth a million. So you were needing something likely 20 of the sets A just to get this. Or likely I saw in some of the pages there was a guy prepping 86 for people, and after prepping 100 of those 86 he got it.
Wow. I just think it's a bit funny that it costs more than the top prizes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, they will have to justify the need of this, because 18 days just for the blank hole, I think it's crazy with all these. And I'm starting to worry with all these build times on those flagships, which is going to be of the Phantom Hellwraith build time. Because if the normal one is taking 18 days with the D5 armor and the like, how much is going to be the other one? 25 to 1 month just to build it?
Yeah, build times have suddenly started creeping back up. I mean, if you look at the last 3 standard hulls, right? We went from 5 hours to 1 day 5 hours to 7 days.
Yeah, but at least
you know what I mean? And that's for standard hulls. That's not flagship hulls. The flagship hulls have all been ridiculous.
But the Vanquisher at least I think was justified with the amount of armor points, because I was saying that day with R that I think that the armor points have to do with the build time, at least on the shipyard. So
I mean, with the flagship, their justification is, oh well, it's a flagship hull, it's a flagship only hull, and I've said this before. I kind of could get that justification with, say, a flagship only hull that's like a Grimshine's Berserker or a Highlander nuclear cruiser, right, where it affects any ship that it's in a fleet with. But this is like the Zoe's Apollo and like the Harlock Citadel, only affects ships of the same type as it. So as soon as those ships are no good, this 18-day blank build is going to be no good too. Do you know what I mean?
I need to specialize because you cannot. I don't think you can put this on a Forsaken mission, maybe, because it doesn't have any sort of missile defense, for example, resistance, and with that defense handicap, it's going to be difficult to grow it up.
But that being said, we don't know what's going to be in the new Forsaken mission targets. They haven't released that information, right? They're just new targets, and I mean they could completely change them if they wanted to. We have no idea at this point.
I don't know. I thought that maybe the 109 could have more of those arc missiles, and maybe no arc missiles on the 102 or something different. I don't know.
And also the core's coming soon to the draconian uranium bases, so it could also be something that you need for that.
Yeah.
Right. I just don't see them letting it be eye candy for people who've got nothing more to build. Right. It's the same. I thought that about the Zoe's Apollo. You know, they brought that out, and I thought, you know, that's not something I really need. And then they dropped this raid, and if you had it, you were doing them a lot cheaper than people who didn't have it. You know, and I just see the same thing coming with this. I see they're going to bring something, and you're not going to necessarily have to have this in order to destroy that target, but it's going to make it a lot cheaper for you if you do.
Yeah, because
and it really depends on what the target reward is relative to the game. If it's one of these mega hull targets, you know, if the reward is going to be a mega hull part or something like that, then it's not as necessary for everybody. You know, it just depends on what the reward is for hitting the red threat. You know, it's probably going to be another base defense thing, but who knows?
We'll have to see and what are the rewards on there to make balance if it is worth or not to build it. Because 18 plus, if you put the weapons on this, I don't know, if the normal one was 6 and a normal build is 14 days, you are going...
It's going to be up around
26, 30 days, depending on how you build it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time for one hull, man.
Yeah, especially if you are not coining much of this and you are using the tokens. I guess you are going to consume all your tokens for that month just to build it.
And it still has this 0% splash damage reduction stat. What the hell is that all about? You know, they haven't changed that. I was expecting them to change that before release. I thought that was just a graphical error and that they were gonna put some sort of stat in there, and it still says 0%. I mean, what's 0%? Splash reduction of 0% means I get no splash reduction, so what's the point in having it there?
Yeah,
I mean, it's sort of leading forward. I'm assuming either in the Foundry or some other way, you're going to start getting splash damage reduction, and they just forgot to take it out.
Yeah, because they don't put flagship only in the Foundry. There's no flagship. There's not a single flagship.
Yeah, they break the rules every day.
Yeah, maybe not on the Foundry, but maybe like the Grimshen or the Savage or the Highlander that didn't end on the Foundry, but in the standard retro.
Maybe
because they put that stuff in the retro lab, which I don't. You know, they put. Then they put the Highlander nuclear cruiser. You know.
Yeah, that's in the normal retro lab. Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't? I think they sort of consider it the same, sort of just the continuation.
We will see with time, I guess.
Yeah. Can we go back to the last slide? I missed that last one.
Which one?
This one, yeah. No, I just wanted to point out with this slide is the fact that a lot of people have been equipping ghost crawlers with the, with
the fire twisters.
Yeah, with the fire twister torpedoes. And I think it's 278 is the projectile speed, the total projectile speed, not a percentage. If you put it on a ghost crawler with the sealed fire charge, but if you put it on the Hellwraith with the special, you get up to 468, and you get a splash of 7.8. So, I mean, I saw the videos that came out about this, but I still think. Because I mean, in the forums and comms, I saw a lot of negative stuff about the Fire Twister, but I think a lot of it was related to that Ghostcrawler video. I mean, I've heard some things from some other people, but I never really saw the builds that they were using with the projectile speed and splash bonuses from this, combined with the projectile speed of a plus 100% on the hull, and how you guys think that's going to work out at the end of the day against targets. Because from what I've seen, they've made these hulls that we get to do a level. They make them right. They make them very powerful until the last part of the raid. They'll fix them, because how many times they fix the Apollo? And I'm just saying, because I just saw a lot of negative stuff about the actual prizes, you know.
Well, I mean, at this point, I have absolutely no plans of putting the Fire Twister on my Ghostcrawler. If I was going to put that on any sub, it would be a Hellwraith. I wouldn't put it on a standard sub, personally. But that's just me. From what I've seen of them, they seem to do great in bases. You know, if you're prepping out a base, they're great because they kill them. You know, I might put a couple on my Ghostcrawler just for killing like Vanquishers, because they get them dead a lot quicker than the standard Scourge torpedoes do because of the high damage. But against a moving target, I think on a standard sub they're really not that useful, especially if it's a fast target.
And also they're cheating against people using them on Tigers and other subs by the -10 cloak efficiency.
Yeah, as well. That's going to kill a lot of other subs.
Yeah. I mean, the Ghostcrawler can get crazy, you know, 115, 120, whatever cloak efficiency, and you know, just run over ships that have sonar on them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's all I had to say about this one. I just wanted to. Somehow I left for about. I blinked my eyes and this slide never showed up. So go ahead.
Okay, let's go to talk about the screw ups. Yeah, the first one is the damage that you take after repairing, especially with subs, with the new rule that doesn't allow them to get launched if they are damaged. And I got the same with ships, other ships like the Rhinos, trying to do man wars of those, that they were missing 1 point to get repair. And the only way I could fix that was move them from that slot to another one, repair them one by one, launching them, making them go to hit the salvage and get a bit of damage, and repairing them after that. When they came back into the base, they could repair for the full damage, and I didn't get the problem anymore. But till I didn't do that, I was repairing them, and each time I was getting back into my base, there was 1 point of damage on them. Did you got that problem as well with the damage?
I ran into the problem with my guard. I've been using citadels in my guard, and then I busted them out and used them because I was able to hit the man of wars for 5 minutes of damage and get the 42, you know, get all that uranium for 5 minutes of damage. But I like to use a citadel on my guard, and after I took it out, I couldn't put it back in because I would get an SOS every time I tried, saying it needs to be
a Vanquisher when you were hitting those man wars. Because it happened to me while I was using the Vanquisher. When I took the Vanquisher out, I fixed the user code with them not repairing.
Yeah, I could put the Vanquisher back in. I just couldn't put my Citadel back in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the linkage is, and I would love if Kixeye would just sort of say, we have these bugs. These are our bugs. We own them, and list them and say, okay, we're going to fix them, but not make everybody just file tickets, because you're forced to file tickets even if you know, because, you know, you don't know if people are going to, they force you to file tickets because they won't create a list. And that's my big issue. They should let everybody know what their bugs are, unless they're glitchable. But the non-glitchable ones, I don't really see a purpose in hiding them from everybody because people are just going to file tickets if they can, or get frustrated about the game or whatnot. They just need to have like a little sticky up at the top of whichever forum they, topic they choose, and just let people know when they have a glitch that they're looking into and they acknowledge and they're going to fix.
Yeah, maybe that would not overload the custom service with the same type of ticket from everybody.
Yeah, it would keep hundreds of tickets coming in, and save the money. But I guess they decided it makes them look weak to say we have these problems in the game. I guess that's the only reason I can think they don't do it.
Well, gadget false, it seems. I don't know. Well, let's talk about the second one and see if he can come back and if he wants to add anything about that. What do you think about that 25? Because do you think that at least if they only allow us 25 friends now, they should give us the chance to choose which 25 we want?
Yeah. I mean, but last week I included a little snippet or a little screen capture of Doom Rooster saying it's not our fault, it's Facebook. But I play another game. Or I used to. I haven't really logged in that much. Because it has the same display at the bottom, and I have over 25 friends.
Because I remember another issue with friends. It was when you were trying to send them the free gifts, those Merc fleets or those package of 3 million of resources, and they told us the same. It was not their fault. And I was surprised a few weeks ago when one of the broken fixes they got was that they fixed an issue that was preventing people from sending those free gifts to the other people on Facebook. And it was like, I thought it was not your fault. How you could fix something that was not your fault? So I don't believe that it's not their fault. I think that they just reduced them. I don't know if it's server issues or just for some other reason, but I keep thinking the same. If they are going to reduce the amount we can have, at least give us a chance to lock some way the ones we don't want to lose at any time on the raid, on outside of the raid. So you can at least have those 10, 11 they allow you on the raid to be the ones you really want. And if they cannot give us the 100 or the 200 we got at the time. Because if not, it's a problem to jump to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I find it ridiculous, and I keep on putting it up because it's been going on for over a month, and they blame Facebook, and, I play on other games where it's not an issue, and that's the only reason I continue to put it up every week, because I have friends that aren't in my alliance that like to move with me, and they can't move with me unless they join my alliance. Because
and they have to lose all the points they have in the Royal Alliance to get into yours and then get back to their alliance and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even, I tried with Disturbed. I unfriended him and refriended him, and because some of the new friends I made, they would show up on the list and bump out old people. But when I worked with Disturb, where I unfriended him and refriended him, he didn't show up as on my relocate list.
Okay.
So, I mean, should we open for the final slide where we don't have anything? Should I post the?
Yeah, because I just saw the comment from Gadget that unfortunately he got some issue at home and couldn't and will not join back for what I say here.
I'm saying, should we
go to the last one?
Well, no. I'm saying for the last one, should we open it up to post the Google Hangout for the last slide?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Do you have it?
I did. Have you opened?
I
on the top. Have you opened the show in YouTube? I didn't, because this way I could not mess around with the slides and the like.
Yeah,
so if you want to post it on the chat there, let's allow people to join if they want.
You can only post it as
on the top. You have.
Yeah, I could change it. Okay, 1 second. Go ahead. I mean, there's nothing we have for that one.
Oh, if not, that one. Give me a second. I join YouTube and I post it myself if you can.
Okay. Yeah, because you're logged in as.
No, it doesn't allow me to post either.
Are you posting it as BPC?
Yeah, but I try to have to change to BPC. Like, give me a second.
Okay. No, I'm sorry, everybody. Tito's trying to post the. There we go. Google Hangouts, so we can all talk about the success for the week. The break.
If any of you want to join us to talk about it, is welcome.
All right, I guess go on to the next slide.
Anything worth mentioning about Kickside doing good this week, you think, guys?
Yeah.
Welcome, George and Kyle. You can unmute yourself if you want to say something, because unless you do that, you are not going to be here by anybody. If you are not used to the Hangouts, you have to just put the cursor on the screen, and on the top you will see the microphone.
Well, they know how to work it.
I was just going to wait until you guys finish the show.
Oh no,
okay.
If you can join us here on this last one if you want. If you have any sayings, go ahead.
Okay, well, we can finish the show. We were just looking for. We'll have the after show, but I was just saying that we were looking for contributors to figure out the Kickside breakthrough of the week. But if you don't have any ideas, I guess we can end the show unless there's anything else anybody else has got to say. Post the FM prizes again, please.
We can post the descriptions if you want, because we don't have any info about it so far. We will have to wait till tomorrow's release.
Yeah, just scroll back on the slides if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't have any problem.
I mean, I expect it to be easy for those that all you want to do is get through to get tokens in order to get your Hellraise available for the VXP weekend. If you run through 4 twice, you should get a 2-day token at the end of it.
Yeah, I think all the stuff's in tier 5 except for that armor.
I don't know about the specials. You could be right, because till tomorrow none of us will know. But I think that one of those specials is going to be on tier 4, because if not, you are talking that if it's only the armor on tier 4, on the second round of the first week you are going to get a token. It's hard to believe to me that that's going to be the case, but could be.
Yeah, but you disagree with me a lot. But this is what happened last month.
You'll have, if all this stuff is in tier 5, and except for the armor, you'll have 2, 4, 6 days before the last week, which will block you getting 3 additional days up until the very last week.
Yeah, but get in mind that this way, if you only get the D4, because we guess that D2 is going to be tier 2, D3 tier 3, D4 tier 4, and D5 for the armor. So if you only have one new price for the tier 4 and you already have all them all, you're talking that you're going to get 2 days token this week, 4 days token next week, 4 more, so 10 days just on tier 4.
Yep.
And they are not very kind of doing that. So
That's
I don't
what
know.
they did. That's what they did last month, and that's what they've been continuing to do.
But what is the alternative? If they actually put one of these in tier 4 and they buck you this week,
At least they are going
2,
to make you
next
wait
week-
till next week.
Right, but then next week you get
4.
5. No, minimum 5. 2 from tier 4, 2 and 1 from tier 5.
Yeah, I was just talking for people that just can take tier 4. But looking at your
I'm
point,
agreeing
taking
with
tier 4 and 5.
George.
No, and I tell you, it's my thought, but it doesn't have to be the right one. You could be right and I'd be wrong. I just feel that so easy, because it's more easy for people to get tier 4 than to get tier 5. So that in tier,
Right, but I'm looking at it from a
an ending player perspective.
Well, I'm looking at it from which is cheapest in Kickstarter's eyes, because they, the big players already have all the stuff. They're going to get tier 5 right away. Which do you want? The players getting the tokens and getting more of them, or letting the tokens shuffle down?
I don't know, because I think there was a sort of issue with the tier 5, because since you only can have one token for 2 days, I think that many people were having problems on tier 5 when they should be getting the 2 plus 2, and they are only getting 1 and not the second, because there is no room in their store. I hope they or they have fixed that.
Well, GDR said he was going to look into that. That's what they're saying. They're looking into that to see if there's a different way of doing it, or allowing us to have the other one overload.
I think that the fastest way is just to expand the stock for the 2 days to have 2. So this way it gets fixed. Because if you get 2 plus 1, you have no problem. If you are lucky and you get the 2 plus 3, you have no problem. The problem is when you have 2 plus 2, because you don't have room to fit the second and you just lose it.
Or you call one 2 days and you call another one 48 hours, and they're different parts of the database, and you don't have to worry about it.
That might actually be the easier way, because they might not even know, who the person that coded it originally might not even be with the company anymore, so they don't even know where the code is within the code.
Yeah, that could be as well. Well, if nobody else is going to join to say anything, we will close the show for tonight. And
Well, we
do the after show.
Well, yeah, we can do the after show, but since you have the link and you're on the BPC, could link again the after show, and then take us off the air?
To the chat on YouTube, or
yeah,
the
chat on YouTube. I'm the chat on YouTube, and then take us off the air afterwards, because
No problem.
But we love you all.
Yeah, you can all join if you want.
Tito wants to get rid of you all. I don't know why. He's a meanie.
Yes, I am mean, but not that kind. Okay, guys, thanks all for coming to another show. I hope you all enjoyed it. We knew that we have to talk about ideas and not about facts, because we don't have the data till tomorrow, but we wanted to keep with the show like every week, and we hope to see you in the next one. Say goodbye, everybody.
We got Friday, and we have a Friday show. It's either going to be at 6 or 7, but we have a Friday show that's going to come up, and we're going to run through all the new stuff that's happening, and we're going to sort of change the show up a little bit. We're going to do our sort of normal show for about a half hour, and then we're going to bring in people for the last half hour to talk about what we talked about and just conversate. So, yeah, it's Friday night. I'm guessing at about 6 Eastern Time. Alrighty.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next weekend, and see you on Friday. Hello.